May isang prinsesa. Prinsesang mandirigma at isang makata. Kasama ang lupon ng mga dakila. Sila'y nanalig, mga baliw sa pag-ibig.
Pondo para sa mga filibustero.
Handang ipaglaban ang kinabukasang kay Giting.
Tayong lahat ay pupuntang Bataan.
Nakikita mo? Ang ating kalabay muling paparating. Sige, dumating kayo. Kami handa. Daratnan mo pa kaming nakatindig pa. Hawak man ay laro ang espada. Ako'y mula sa buwan.
And speaking of returning cast members, welcome to State of the Arts, Myke and Gab. How are you?
Good. Thank you for having us.
Well, first of all, congratulations on your wedding. That was exciting.
Thank you.
I know many fans are thrilled because Cyrano and Roxanne finally got their happy ending. How does it feel to sort of relive that moment here on stage during your final run of Mula sa Buwan?
Actually, it's for me one of the fun parts about being able to do this job together is we see people come to the theater and they would be like, we were there when Myke proposed to you. We were in that show.
Maaari ka bang imbitahin maging ligaya, pangarap at pag-asa? Dahil ikaw ang aking awit na kailanman di lilipas. Kahapon, ngayon, hanggang sa 1 milyong bukas. Oo, pag-iisang dibdib. Dahil nais kong maging iyong kawal, katuwang, at kakampi sa habang buhay. Nagmamahal, Myke.
Sa mga simpleng salita, ngunit buo ang diwa. Maging Christian man ako o iyong Cyrano. Will you open this?
My mom and dad.
Sayang kasi yung renta ng Samsung Theater.
And I think that's also why Samsung Performing Arts Theater is special to us in a way because every time we're here, I mean, it's so easy to just go back there. And it was 2 years ago. That was so...
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was 2 years
I
ago
can't believe
already.
it's been 2 years. Yeah.
Right here.
Yeah, actually, right here.
Somewhere here.
Yeah.
It happens somewhere.
Well, how does it feel now that you get to work on and off stage as a real life couple?
It still feels the same.
Yeah?
Yeah, because nothing changed. Meaning, we respect each other as actors and as lovers.
Wow.
So, I think nothing changed. It's just that we are bound to a lifetime contract.
That is true. I mean, we've had we actually talked about it recently. Being able to work as theater actors, but also as co-producers, and sometimes he's my musical theater director. There are just so many hats, and I think that's why
I'm the hottest.
You're the hottest. No, that's why our relationship works also, is because we understand the ins and outs of what we do, and it just makes everything, I guess, in a way easier. I mean, simpler, but at the same time more exciting because, of course, as actors, we're also very emotional people.
Sure.
So it's just nice to have a teammate in a way, navigating through career and life and friendships. So just being able to do this together is always.
Well, I'm curious, and I'm sure a lot of your fans are too. Is there a switch? You do your final bow, you go to your dressing room, you head home. You turn off a switch, you say, now I'm Gab, now I'm Myke. I'm not your character anymore.
For me, that's why Mula sa Buwan is so special. It's because the relationship, though Roxanne and Cyrano don't end up together, the love that they have for each other is real. I mean, they have a friendship, and there's just two sides to it because it's unrequited love.
Sure.
But being able, and Myke, for Myke and me, this is our only show, I think, apart from the last 5 years. Well, it's the first show that we were able to be co-actors to this extent.
Okay.
Because in other shows, I was an ensemble member, or I mean, he was the musical director. So just having those moments on stage is extra special. And then we take that bow, and then we go to our dressing rooms, separate yung dressing rooms namin.
Okay.
But it's, I don't want to say it's all in a day's work, but it's also, there's that familiar and comfortable feeling knowing that even on stage we feel safe with each
Okay.
other.
Yes, and even when we go home, we still talk about work, even
Sure.
if we share the same workspace.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
How did you find sort of a healthy balance to make sure that, oh God, you know, we're still gonna talk about work. We were just there for like 12 hours.
Yeah. Healthy balance. I just came from Bangkok without him. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh yeah, okay.
I just went on a vacation. No, I'm just kidding. What do you think?
I think we just have I think our communication now is healthier. So it's everything. That's
Yeah,
everything.
It is
Yeah.
really. I mean, being able to talk about.
I enjoy talking to her every day.
Yeah.
So that's it.
That's true. Sometimes, like, we're just in the, because we
And
recently
I enjoy not talking to her. Just staring at her. I don't know.
staring at her. No, we recently moved into a new home also.
Yes,
Yeah,
congratulations.
thank you. So now there's this space to be alone, but also like we have our own workspaces,
Pockets, yes.
and but we also have the common area spaces. So sometimes you feel, sometimes I feel like it's also just like a sleepover with a best friend, or like having a roommate, but also having
And I have a separate studio.
yeah, he has his studio
Okay.
at home. So sometimes we're like sitting on the kitchen countertop, and then we're talking, and then we don't realize we're talking like it's been an hour,
Sure.
2 hours, you know.
Sure.
So so far life has been like that, and it's been
Nice.
fun, and
Yeah.
it's also nice getting to know each other and still continuing to get to know each other
Okay.
even after years of knowing
Yeah.
each other. Yeah.
It's like having tita lunch every day with
Tita
her.
lunch.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I think putting it simply, the relationship of Cyrano and Roxanne is quite bittersweet.
Yeah.
You know, we all know how
It
it
is,
ended. Yeah. And you are still coming, and I can feel it. You're still coming off your marriage high. Is there a particular challenge coming in as a very happy couple, and then portraying like, you know, a couple that eventually ended up not together?
Every time I do Mula sa Buwan, it makes me happy.
Yeah.
So it might not show on stage, but that's pure happiness. It's happiness in all colors.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's yeah. Even the last scene,
Mm.
that's pure happiness.
Yeah.
Even
Okay.
it's
Even if
so
he doesn't look-
painful.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because you get to perform that material with my wife and with the audience, and it's just a sacred time.
I think both of us also, I mean, that's also why we, again, Mula sa Buwan is so special to us. It's because both of us are on the same wavelength when it comes to respect and love for our craft also. So it's not even a switch, or it's not even like you know, like in terms of career, it's just so the way we both love theater and the way we both love being on stage or doing anything that has to do with theater, because we are on the same boat. It's not difficult getting offer on that boat, or you
Okay.
know, like coming into the theater. And so even with that, being an actor, I don't think it would, I don't say I don't think it would affect, but like if anything, we could find something from that joy or from that coming out of that high to put into this version of Mula sa Buwan, and we'll see how it goes. Parang ganon.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I think a good segue is, has being married to each other added a particular extra layer to how you approach your roles, especially a role that you also have a relationship on stage.
What do you think?
Do I talk about last 5 years?
You can.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Last 5 years was kind of heavy.
Yeah, it was.
Even if we're not sharing too much time on stage together.
Yeah.
It was kind of heavy. I don't know what to feel there.
Yeah.
Actually.
But I think that because of the last 5 years, coming back to Mula sa Buwan would be even more, I mean, not challenging. It's, again, coming home. It has that familiar and wonderful feeling of being able to do this again. Because the last 5 years, we actually worked separately. And this was even closer after we got married. I mean, this has been, it's been a year and a couple of months since we got married.
So it will be a fresh take.
So it
and
will be a
especially
fresh
with
take.
Miko Angeles' version or vision.
Yes,
And
version and
version and
vision.
vision.
Yeah.
And with the new people, I
Yeah.
mean, we're always excited to welcome new people to the cast also. And to be
you
able...
will see Brian C.
And you will see Brian C. As Maximo, with MC De La Cruz as Christian. I feel personally, as with my Roxanne, I feel like MC's Christian hasn't been seen enough because we only had
Sure.
2 weekends of it.
Yeah.
And I will have a new best friend,
Yes.
Yes.
Jerome Canlas.
Yes,
from
Jerome
Bar
is
Boys.
the new taco.
Nice, nice.
So, for us, it's not even just about the two of us when it comes to a show. I mean, even if we have multiple scenes together as Cyrano and Roxanne, there's a whole powerful cast that comes.
Sure.
I mean, and of course we have Fee, and
Right.
so that's also what we're excited about and what we're looking forward to because, yeah. So MC as Christian. We only had 2 weekends in December. So now I'm so happy that more people get to see it, yes?
Technically, come to think of it, Christian and Cyrano is the love team because
Yeah.
they share more time on
Right.
stage.
Yeah.
They have a lot more screen time.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. Well, speaking of takes or fresh takes, do you individually, as actors and as a couple, do you have any special rituals or practices when you're approaching your roles?
We make coffee
Yes.
Yes.
first thing in the morning.
Coffee. Myke makes my coffee.
If we don't do that, everything will crumble.
So it's that. But also, of course, the warm-ups. And personally, what I love about this theater is the dressing rooms.
Okay.
I love our dressing rooms. I mean...
Yeah, everything about this building is just perfect.
Yeah. No,
It's-
I love our, like, because as Roxanne, I had the 501.
Okay.
We bought a shower curtain na nga for the
For 502.
we left it there.
So for 501, I mean, I like, before a show, I also like the quiet time, just being able to be with myself and in silence. That's part, I guess, of the ritual. I mean, it depends also in every show because circumstances
Sure.
change, the theaters are different. So, but here in particular, that's one of the things I'm looking forward to. Also the warm-ups, sometimes inside the theater or here on stage.
And
As a company.
the Dalkia room is just
Perfect.
nice.
The rehearsal hall.
The rehearsal
yes,
hall.
Yes, yeah.
It was like a church
Yes.
because you just go there, really quiet, and
Though in 2022, because of the pandemic, I mean, it was pretty much still...
It was hard because
It was hard.
everybody had
It's
to
etched.
isolate.
Yes,
yeah,
but-
social distance.
We had we had a bus, that would take
Right,
us to and from the
right.
theater. So I think this time it will be very different
Yeah.
because the circumstances are
Sure.
different and the process will be different with Miko as our director.
And the possible meet and greet.
Oh,
Oh
and
yes,
yes,
yeah, which didn't happen that last
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
And speaking of, it'll be different. With you guys having done Roxanne and Cyrano for a while now, are there still new facets of the character that you
Oh, yeah.
you feel like you have not fully explored?
We had a pre-prod meeting yesterday, and instantly I got scared because of Miko Angeles' preamble.
Yeah. Well, for this particular run, like Gab, what are you looking forward to in discovering or
Yeah.
exploring more of the 2024 Roxanne?
I feel like being able to do the role again. Some would say it's like riding a bicycle, but really for me, it's really more discovering Roxanne even more. Because if I count how many times I've done the show, if we total 2018's run to 2022, that's still, I think, less than 50 times. And I had done ang Huling El Bimbo, if I'm talking about Joy last year, that was 60 shows for one run, and there I was able to discover more things
see.
about Joy. So I feel like just the more that you're able to do a character, if you feel like you haven't done enough of it, you haven't done enough of it.
of course,
So
yeah.
you'll be able, I personally feel that I'll be able to learn even more about her and even her songs and
Yeah.
the text and her relationship with Cyrano, her relationship with Christian, especially under a new director.
Okay.
So I'm just excited for the process to start because I feel like the rehearsal process is where we can really discover everything. I can research and I can study as much as I can on my own.
Right.
But it's really only when we all come together where it will come together.
Of course,
so,
yeah.
To add to that, I played with 3 different Roxannes already,
Okay.
which is Gab and Gab. They're all different.
Oh yeah.
She's evolving.
I'm a Pokemon.
Yes. Well, I think as actors, it's natural that
Yeah.
you guys are evolving. But speaking of evolving, what do you think your audiences can expect of these 2024 Cyrano, the 2024 Roxanne?
I feel like our audience, 50-50 and 50% are repeat audiences, 50% are the ones that have never seen it before. And I'm just excited for, the Cyrano-Roxanne tandem. Hearts will break. And in the best way. There's just something so bittersweet about their relationship and about what happens until the very end. Cyrano, even with for me, the 2022 rewrites and how Pat positioned the characters for the 2022 iteration, I just feel that they will still absorb Mula sa Buwan in all its glory and the magic that the story brings. But also what do you call that? It's the heartache will be there,
Okay.
but they will come out of it with hope and still wanting to, move forward.
Right.
So
The sound will be different because we will hear new voices.
yeah.
Okay. More voices.
More
New
voices.
and new.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
New.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm excited. Oh, I got excited.
No, it's quite exciting. I was gonna say, as an artist myself, some of my most fulfilling roles, I love dying on stage. Oddly enough, my most favorite part is Romeo and Juliet, and the death scene is my most favorite part. to perform. There's just something sort of. It's a different feeling when you're getting to share that emotion on stage and to the audience that you've never felt before,
Yeah.
but you know exactly
Yeah.
how it would feel.
Yeah.
Mula sa Buwan has a lot of really emotionally challenging scenes. How do you prepare for something like that? Especially for a cast that you don't really have a cover or an alternate. So in essence, like Mike, you die, almost every night, and Gab, you
I lose.
mourn
Yeah.
the death of not only your best friend but also your lover with
Yeah.
Christian almost every night.
Yeah.
How do you prepare for something like that?
You don't.
Yeah.
Unless you're no, I'm just joking. You can't really prepare for that, and that's the beauty of just being not prepared for
And
it.
being present.
Mm.
Just being present for that moment.
For example, that war scene where everyone dies.
Right.
Not prepared for that every night.
Right. Is it for you? Is that one of the hardest scenes to perform?
It's one of the most beautiful and heartbreaking scene to perform because you get to see everyone. It's just like a eulogy in front of
Yeah.
you.
Right. Can I ask you, Mike, that scene where everybody says goodbye to you, when you're on stage, you're in the middle of your scene and you're focusing and you have 1,500 audiences watching you, what's the feeling when each one of them is saying goodbye or doing their hand gesture, playing the guitar?
I feel like I don't have clothes on.
Okay.
I don't have skin.
Uh-huh.
Everything.
Yeah.
Everything is gone. I'm crying.
Yeah. No, I know that scene too.
So you don't have to prepare. It's just seeing everyone being there.
Yeah. And do you feel like that's the key? Maybe like Gab, when you finally realize that those letters are from Cyrano and not from Christian, do you feel like it's better to like just absorb it
Yeah.
in the moment
For
than
sure.
just like, oh, by this time I
No,
realize
no,
it,
not
I
at
have to
all.
act this way.
I think that's the best part of being a part of a production like this. It's just being completely in the moment. And I know it's difficult, especially for the overthinkers and for those who, let's say, don't master their stuff yet,
Right.
or for those who are thinking or planning ahead of what they want to do on stage. When you're completely in the moment as an actor, as a theater actor, that's when the most organic, most beautiful, most authentic moments can happen, and that's the beauty of live experiences or live performances. And here in Samsung and doing Mula sa Buwan, because of, I guess, the boundaries that were set, the expectations, and the working together. That's why for me it's so important for a cast to be able to come together and work together and to feel safe together, because there you could be your most vulnerable. And being able to do Mula sa Buwan with Myke and with MC, with Marky,
Right.
with everybody, and feel completely safe and completely at home, that's where you can just let it go, let everything go, and just be completely present.
Yeah.
And that's what I think the audience deserves
Right.
also.
Yeah.
So
Well, you, the two of you, have performed the characters for quite some time now. Has there a particular lesson that you've learned from each of your character that you take with you to your everyday life?
The newest addition to this version was when Cyrano apologized for everything at the end. So I think that's a nice addition because he
Okay.
gets to show his accountability rather than his
pride.
Right.
pride.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That he finally confessed that, yeah, he's just, he was...
There's remorse.
Right, right.
I mean, in
There's a closure.
yeah, in his
And
most human
acceptance.
form.
Correct, yeah.
For
What about
me,
you? Yeah.
I think what I've always loved about Roxanne is that she's so ahead of her time. I feel like she just knew what she wanted and she was unapologetic for it. And being a woman in a society where it's so normal to be apologetic, or it's so normal to say that, to be shy or to be modest, as they say, because that's what society dictates. And for Roxanne in that time, she wasn't afraid to state what she wanted and to go get it.
Right.
And for me, characters, I mean, I always fall in love with the characters I portray, but also I always try to carry what I learn from them. And
Yeah.
for me, it's always a good reminder because it's a good reminder because there will always be people who question your
Right.
choices and who question what you do.
Yeah.
But especially if with your heart and you know your heart, you know your intentions, and for me, being ambitious is not a problem, or it's not something that should be
Taken against you.
taken against you,
Right.
especially for a woman
Correct.
In the
in this
40s.
time. Yeah.
Yes.
In the
But
40s
in
in this
1940s
Right.
also. So, that's something that I appreciate or that I am grateful for in learning from Roxanne.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the two of you are part of the producing team.
Yes.
So, collectively, individually, you play you wear many hats.
Yes.
So I know, Gab, you do the marketing. Myke, obviously, you're doing the musical direction, and you're actors in it. So how do you
Position yourself.
how do you navigate and balance all of those different roles? When you are, for example, Gab, you just poured your heart out and you're crying because your love just died, and then your producing partners might call you and say, "Hey, I feel like we have to come up with so
A
so
new-
and so
yeah.
and X, Y, and Z,"
Yeah.
and you're like, instantly,
In
yeah.
fairness,
We have to buy more jackets
No.
for tomorrow.
no, in fairness, if in Mula sa Buwan 2022, it was just me, John, Yvonne, and Myke, our SOCMED and our PR manager. It was just the four of us. Now we have a growing team. So in Barefoot, we kind of were growing every production, and it's nice to have people also that they
Sure.
already know what I'm thinking before I say it. Sorry, I'll just share.
Right.
But in the last 5 years, there were times that Myke and I would do the show, I would bow, and then I would ask for the files because there was a reel that came up into my head that, this needs to be posted. And because it's the fastest way, I would have them send me the files that they took of our curtain call. Then while I'm nakaangkas on the motor of Myke, I would be editing. The video. And then when I get home, I will post it. So there were times that were like that. And I'm like, oh my gosh. I mean, I love it.
Sure.
I enjoy it a lot. But for a show like Mula sa Buwan, there are times that Rona, our other partner, would be like, why are you still talking to me? Sleep, you have a show
Right,
tomorrow.
sure.
So I think I'm going to try this time around because our team is growing and we have a great marketing
to
team.
pass the hat.
No, we have a
There's
great
a
marketing
great
team.
support
Yes,
system
great
now,
support
yeah.
system. And
Yeah.
this time, John Marquiap, our other partner, who was also the stage manager in 2022, is now just my co-marketing director. And I think that's where he'll be focusing
Right.
on this run. So I think there's a bit of space for me to kind of take a step back, but we'll see about that
Sure,
because
yeah.
we don't know,
Of course.
But it's like that. And personally, I enjoy it so
Yeah.
much. Like even with Bar Boys, I enjoyed coming up with the concepts of the videos and we had a sold out run.
Yeah.
So for me, that's another kind of fulfillment
Aspect,
altogether.
yep,
Yeah.
yeah. Speaking of looking forward, as actors, what are you most looking forward to for this 2024 run?
More kids to watch, more new audience. What else? I hope we really get to make a new version with a
Okay.
new cast
Yeah.
and make it their own.
Mm-hmm.
Embrace it, and so that they can embrace it and just love the show as much as I love it. We love it.
I'm excited because for the first time ever, we have a new director. I mean, we have Miko Angeles. He was with us in 2022, but I'm also excited to see how he will interpret that 2022 version.
Okay.
That's one, Miko Angeles as our director. Two, I'm excited for the new cast. I mean, I'm excited because also a lot of our cast members that are joining us, some of them were able to see Mula sa Buwan in the past, and it's a dream show for them. And for me, it's always wonderful to work with people who want to be where they are. You know, you can feel when a co-actor or when someone you're working with is exactly where they need to be in that moment. And for me, that's what's exciting about this cast, because we have a few who I worked with a couple of them in El Bimbo, or we had Jerome in Bar Boys, Omar. So these are just people who are coming home to a new theater to do a new story, but they're all people that we're excited and we're happy to work with. So that's something that I'm excited about
Yeah.
also.
That's great. Yeah, thank you.